Oshkosh Media is government programming on GovTV, community programming on Life TV, and community radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9.
Welcome to the City Manager's Report, a look at city updates and a preview of the next Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda.
And thanks for joining us for the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig, along with your Assistant City Manager for the City of Oshkosh, John Fitzpatrick. And thanks for being here, John.
Thanks for having me, Andy.
Well, we have a lot coming up on today's show. We'll start with some municipal news updates, and in the second half, we'll talk about some agenda highlights from the upcoming Tuesday, October 26th Common Council meeting. So, John, we've got several things that we're talking about today. We were recently over at Smith School over on Oregon Street, and the school has been added to the National Register of Historic Places. And we recorded some video, and
right.
and actually Tim Hess, who is with Wiesenberg Architects, had a couple comments, and we'll take a listen to what Tim had to say.
Sounds good.
Not every old building is historic, and not every historic building is worthy of getting on the National Register of Historic Places. So we are excited to have the opportunity today to celebrate the fact that Smith School has been placed on the National Registry.
And this recognition is granted by the United States Department of the Interior, so this is quite a thing for Smith School.
It is, and I think you can see from the video that it's just really a beautiful building. And Wiesenberg Architects has really been working on a lot of reuse and just evaluating buildings that are available in the community, and how can they're not being used now for their original purpose, but how can they be rehabilitated in such a way where we can still use that building, enjoy the beautiful architecture, and make it a meaningful part of the community. And I think they've done a really good job with a variety of projects, and this is their latest, one of their latest. The windows are just so beautiful, and it's just a variety of unique architectural details, and I think it's really going to be nice when they get it all completed.
Right, absolutely. So back in May, Wisconsin's Historic Preservation Review Board voted unanimously to place Smith School on Wisconsin's Register of Historic Places, and then nominate it for the National Registry, which has now happened. And a celebration of the school's National Registry designation was held on Friday, October 15th, and that's the video clip that we just saw from that event. And there's also a plaque that was placed on the building and notes the recognition.
Yeah, it's my understanding it's going to be converted into a place where that's going to house approximately 30 apartments. So I think those will be highly sought after. I think it'll be a real unique option for housing in our community.
Right, absolutely. And a video of that event also is posted on our Oshkosh Media YouTube channel. So if you'd like to take a look at that, it's available to be viewed there. And also look for schedules on Oshkosh Media GovTV, and the replays are scheduled throughout the week. So, all right, very good. So, John, also we have some news about the OshBuy surplus online auction website that the city has.
Right.
And this website is going to be relaunched with some new features.
That's right. OshBuy has been a staple for us for a while, and for those people that aren't familiar with it, it's kind of it's similar to eBay in a way.
Right. It's like an Oshkosh eBay.
Right. So we have surplus disposal, and it's one of the responsibilities of our General Services Division and Administrative Services to try to offer things that aren't being used any longer by the city to the public.
Right.
And so it's an opportunity for people to evaluate whether or not some of these things might be of interest to them. Mm-hmm. So I think it's something that is worth checking out, whether you've gone to OshBuy before or it's your first time.
Right, and it's a variety of things that are listed there. It can be anything from office furniture, computers. I understand that when it's relaunched on November 1st, that there'll be some security cameras there. So different things. It's available under the services tab that you see there, and then to Oshbuy. And some of the new features on Oshbuy will include that users may choose to be notified of bid opportunities of items in any category, so they can kind of find out ahead of time that they'll have the opportunity. And then users will be emailed when someone outbids them, and that's something new.
Right. I think, people might think of the traditional things that the city might have available from their, operational perspective. But also occasionally there's some unique things that I think are provided on Oshbuy, based on some, for example, community development type activities, when we secure a building that the city buys and is going to redevelop or demolish.
Right.
So, things like that are of interest to people too, whether it's from their own perspective or from a kind of a sentimental perspective, because it relates to, something they remember from their childhood or something like that. So, it's worth checking out for sure.
Yeah, I think in the past there might have been some old parking meters that were there, some
I think
kind
so.
of unusual things.
I think so. I think, and I may be wrong on this, but I think, and this is a passionate issue for citizens, I think the old Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket that used to rotate.
I think it was there.
I think that was there too. And
Right.
I don't know who the proud owner of that is now, but we're very hopeful that business can come back to the community at some point. But it just gives you an idea of some of the things that might pop up on Oshbuy from time to time.
Right. And users will be emailed if they had the winning bid. And once the user creates a login, they may use it also for future auctions.
Right.
So the whole process is more streamlined than it had been before.
Right.
So a couple things. The Oshbuy account, folks can create an account beginning October 26th. That's when the new site will be available for them to create an account. And then also the new bid items will appear on Monday, November 1st. So it's kind of in a process of change right now, but folks can begin creating accounts on the 26th, and new items will appear on the 1st.
Right.
So you can watch for that, and we'll keep folks updated through our Oshkosh Media social media page. So, all right, moving on to some other items too with the city. We have a COVID relief program that has been open to businesses. And in March 2020, the city committed $1 million of relief and TID funds available for loans for businesses. And so these dollars have been made available, and some dollars have been committed to local business.
Yeah, and I think certainly people are aware of the impacts of COVID-19, especially to local businesses. And I think community development has just done a tremendous job trying to provide different options to help them continue to be successful. I know early on we expanded the opportunity for outdoor dining, patio-related dining, which people really like, and relax some of our requirements associated with that, some of our permitting. But these are direct relief dollars that were established and then set aside for, businesses to apply for and then receive in order to keep them viable during this difficult time.
Right. And Go EDC, which is the Greater Oshkosh Economic Development Corporation, also committed $50,000 to add to this effort, and $215,000 of the funds were loaned out to 22 businesses. So that's pretty good.
That's right. Yep, and I think some of the money's already been paid back.
Right.
So it's something that I think it's a recognition that they just might need a little bit of help during this difficult time period, and businesses have been very appreciative, have communicated that to us, and the payback, as we mentioned, is a small recognition of that.
Right,
So,
right. All the loans are in good standing.
Yeah.
And the city is continuing to work with Go EDC to encourage impacted businesses to continue to apply for these funds.
Right.
And also we can look for more information to come forward regarding use of the ARPA funds as well, because that doesn't necessarily tie in directly, but to help businesses, there is a connection there too.
Right. I think the ARPA funds. We've asked the community for a variety of different ideas associated with ARPA, and because we're getting close to finalizing our operating budget, and we've talked about different revenue sources for all kinds of different ideas. Our budget process, including our capital improvement program, our ARPA funding, and then also we have a new policy that's been established by Long Range Finance, whereby we have a threshold of what the appropriate level of fund balance is.
Okay.
And if we exceed that level, which we have been fortunate enough to get to, we can use that source for worthy projects too. And of course, each one of these buckets of money have their own special considerations in terms of what we should or could be spending this money on.
Right.
So the color of the money is a little bit different, but the point of it all is there's different resources that are available, and we're going to try to maximize the use of those funds to the benefit of the citizenry, so we can really, get as much as we can to help the community as best we can.
Right, right. And of course, ARPA, that's the American Rescue Plan Act. Those are federal dollars that have come forward.
Right.
So the Oshkosh Community Development Department is available for more information on application for those funds and for the relief funds. So we encourage folks to reach out to them for more information.
Right.
Okay. Recently, the Oshkosh Police Department had their Run with the Cops event, and that took place on October 7th. And several law enforcement agencies were involved in that.
Yeah, that's right. This is something that they've been doing for quite some time. It's just an awareness thing. It's a benefit for Special Olympics, the cops do a great job trying to reach out to the community and participate in things with the community. They're not afraid to put themselves in positions where they can be seen as humans. I think it's difficult because when police are called to a situation, the circumstances are very difficult, and sometimes, especially children, can be afraid. So they're very cognizant of that. This is one way for them to help give back to the community and make it a better place by raising funds through this run.
Right, right.
But they're also doing all kinds of crazy things like, I know they have a donut hole eating contest.
Right, there's some levity to that.
That's right, and certainly inside the organization we're always, talking about their propensity to eat donuts. They prefer to call them power rings.
Oh, there you go.
It's they take it all in good fun, but the point of all this is to try to make the community a better place, to try to be engaged with the citizenry and do the best job that we possibly can. So this is just another facet of that ultimate goal.
Right, absolutely. And folks can follow the Oshkosh Police Department Facebook page for info on these events and other things that they have coming up, so you can keep tabs on what they're doing. So, okay, and then also, John, we have some updates on a few other things that are going on in the city. It's fall. There are a lot of leaves that are starting to fall, so we have loose leaf collection that began on Monday the 18th, and that continues throughout the week, every week here for several weeks.
Right. It's that time of year. We've been pretty fortunate. The weather's been pretty nice.
Right.
Actually, pretty warm, but we know, sadly, it's not going to last forever.
Right.
And so our public works folks are going to be out in your neighborhoods collecting those leaves. Reminders just for you to try to keep those on the terrace. Don't rake them onto the road. We don't want to have any of those leaves get into Lake Winnebago and create all kinds of algae blooms and other problems for fishermen, boaters, all that kind of stuff. So just, it's the same principle that we try to recommend about people, cutting their grass and blowing grass into the street. So it's really for the benefit of everyone to try to, keep it managed. And looks like we have some video there where we can, show that if they're on the terrace, it's a lot easier for us to access them. We can get them picked up a lot more quickly, and that means that we can get to more and more citizens to try to keep those off the terrace. So
Right.
a little
Right.
help from the citizens with this would be greatly appreciated.
Right, right. And those trucks aren't able to pick up grass very well, so
Right.
folks are encouraged to just leaves, no grass, and no garden plants, that sort of thing.
Right.
And that'll allow the process to move forward more efficiently.
Right.
And then also too, if those leaves are out on the terrace by 7 a.m. on the day after your garbage collection day. So that's the magic time when they'll come through to pick up those leaves.
That's right. It's just a good reminder, I think, for people to they need to get their garbage out anyway. So if they can have those leaves there at the same time, it's kind of a good way for them to keep track of that chore among all the other ones that I'm sure they're trying to remember.
Sure. And just a side note too, that yard waste collection week is scheduled for the week of November 1st through the 5th. And so that's when those additional items may be placed out at the terrace, including small branches, garden debris, and leaves can also be put in biodegradable bags. I have a problem with that word, and also no later than 7 a.m. on your garbage day for those pickups for yard waste collection.
Right.
Okay. Also, speaking of fall and the season that we're in, Trick or Treat is coming around the corner, and so that will be held on Sunday, October 31st from 4 to 7.
That's right. I'm sure everybody's looking forward to that. I know we certainly have quite a few kids that come through our neighborhood, although, Andy, it's my understanding that you're a person who provides, in your neighborhood some of the best treats. So that's, I don't know if we're going to be sharing your address here.
Well, we'll be seeing about that.
All right.
We'll build some drama.
Okay, good. But no, everybody's going to look forward to this, and we want it to be safe. It's 4 to 7 on October 31st, and hopefully we'll have good weather.
Hopefully, yeah, we'll see what comes up. And also, just some safety tips, avoid direct contact if possible during COVID here, and outdoor, giving treats outdoors if possible, and individually bagged treats, and to wash your hands before handling things.
Right. However we can help everybody feel comfortable and help them feel safe, that's really what it's about.
Absolutely. And then also, speaking of COVID, so masks are required of employees and visitors in city-operated buildings, and this is through October 31st.
Right. I think City Manager Roloff is carefully monitoring this. I know that I participate in a meeting several times a month just to touch base with our county health department, see what's going on. We evaluate what's going on in the schools, what's going on at the county level, in the communities, the hospitals, and unfortunately, there's still the transmission is still a little bit high. We closely monitor recommendations from the CDC, and because of that transmission rate right now, their recommendation is inside a building like ours, where we have a lot of public activity, that it's safer for the community for us to all mask. And I know our employees, although they're weary of wearing masks just like everyone else,
Sure,
they understand that it's our job to keep the public safe. So if that's what we have to do, that's what we're going to do. And so hopefully, as time goes on, the conditions are going to improve, and we can reach another level in the CDC's guidelines where it won't be required. But we're looking at that continuously, and City Manager Roloff is going to make recommendations for us on a month-to-month basis.
Okay, all right, very good. And we continue to encourage our viewers to visit wcvaccine.org. You're seeing it on the screen there. They can get more information there on vaccination information and also information about all upcoming vaccination clinics that are scheduled. So get the information there and through the Winnebago County Health Department. There's also free transportation available to vaccination appointments through Go Transit. So you can get some more information at that site. So John, I think that wraps up our first half of the program. And if everyone would stay with us, we'll be right back with some agenda highlights from our upcoming Tuesday, October 26th Common Council meeting. You're watching the City Manager's Report.
Whether it's advice on managing your anxiety or tools to help you stay grounded, Coping-19 provides a range of resources and self-care tips to help you cope with this pandemic. We can help. Find the resources that work best for you at coping-19.org.
And welcome back to the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig along with Assistant City Manager John Fitzpatrick. Let's take a look at some agenda highlights from the upcoming Tuesday, October 26th Common Council meeting. So John, we have some items coming up on the agenda, including there's accept a gift of some flashing beacons from the ADRC. And what can you tell us about that one?
Well, actually, we're very grateful that Winnebago County has saw fit to help us with this initiative. We have some rectangular, rapidly flashing beacons. I mean, we call them RRFBs because we like acronyms, and we've got them in a few different areas in the community. And you know, they're no guarantee to help eliminate people traveling fast through the roundabouts. Mm-hmm. But I think that we've gotten really good responses from the public about them. So we have them in, I believe there's one on 9th, I believe there's one on Murdoch. The first one we got was through a federal grant.
And this is over at 9th right here.
Right. Mm-hmm. And you know, there's a variety of people that are walking through those roundabouts. I know people like roundabouts because they don't have to stop, but you know, we still have to be conscious of the traveling public, especially people that are going through those intersections that may be disabled, may have a wheelchair. You know, they may not have the ability to stop and start or go quite as fast as somebody who's walking. So we really are grateful for the generosity of the county helping us out, because these are pretty expensive installs, and I think they make a difference.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it's a very important safety feature for our residents.
Absolutely.
Okay, then we have an item, an agreement with the Oshkosh Area Humane Society, and that is for animal shelter services going forward.
That's right. We've been a partner with the Humane Society for many, many years, and this is just a renewal of our agreement. Mm-hmm. They provide a variety of great services to the community and have partnered with us for quite some time.
Mm-hmm. And some of those items in the agreement include picking up of stray animals, redemptions by the public during business hours, responding to citizen questions and complaints regarding animals, and then also retrieval and transport of animals upon request from the Oshkosh Police Department. Right. So a lot of different things.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. No, great partner.
Absolutely there. Okay, and then there's an item coming up later in the agenda for a neighborhood investment fund, and I understand this is a grant application.
It is. It's a grant application that community development is pursuing, and so there's no guarantee that we're going to secure these funds, but I think it's important to note that we're always trying to garner more and more revenue so we can apply it to circumstances that might exist in our community. Budgets are limited. We try to keep our tax rate as low as we possibly can. But these funds are available through the state of Wisconsin, the Department of Administration, and they're really intended to help address some of the issues that we may have to manage associated with homelessness, for example.
Okay.
So we're hopeful that because of some of the proactive initiatives that we've already undertaken, that the Department of Administration will see fit to release these monies to us. They try to work with communities that already have pre-designed plans in mind because they want to have as much impact for these grants as possible.
Right.
And we've worked with the state very successfully for quite some time. So we're hopeful that we might be able to use some of these things for our continuum of care, from homeless to COTS to independence. So that's really the idea.
Okay, very good. And then we have, after that, several special event approvals that are coming forward. The first of those is for the Celebration of Lights. And I know the Celebration of Lights happens November 26th through January 1st.
Yes.
Several different things.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of things. And, it's nice to look forward to some of these things. But I can't believe this year has gone by so quickly. We have
very fast
Turkey Trot, Celebration of Lights, and even some items that are going to take place next year. So it's going fast, Andy.
We have the Race for the Light that happens in Menominee Park. We were taking a look at some video there at Celebration of Lights, and a lot of different things coming up.
Absolutely.
So we'll keep tabs on those and listen for the update on Oshkosh FM 101.9 of events that are happening each month. Okay, and then a little bit later on in the agenda, we're canceling the December 28th council meeting, and I know that happens every year.
It does. It's pretty frequent. I think it's really twofold. It's people who participate in that meeting, they're may not be available because of the holidays, but also our mission is to try to be as transparent and communicative to the community. And we know the community is very busy during those time periods too. And we don't want them to miss or not have the opportunity to participate in decision making or the meeting process if they so choose. So that's really part of the thought process behind it.
Okay. And then there's an item over by Merrell Middle School to change the traffic flow, and this is for the new school.
Right. I think people are familiar with the new school that's going to be built over there. Merrell, the school's been there for a long, long time. It served the community well, but I know that this new school is really going to be an exciting improvement for that neighborhood and the community itself. And because you've seen some improvements already on Jackson Street, where we've put that on a road diet to try to minimize some of the traffic speeds in anticipation of a lot of kids in that area. And this is just another way to try to help manage traffic flow by changing the direction of traffic in that area on Central and Kentucky Street from West Nevada to West New York.
Okay.
I know there'll be dialogue about some turning options, and we'll get some council direction on that as to how they want us to facilitate that detail. But this is the major decision associated with it.
Okay. And John, we've got about a minute left, but if you can touch on real quickly, we have some budget meetings coming up on November 3rd. And a couple other items here. Yeah,
the budget process is moving along really well. November 3rd will be the next step. We've already taken the individual departmental meetings have already taken place, and now we'll be focusing on any enhancements that the council may want to see.
Okay. And then there's also a cooperative purchase agreement for a gazebo at Riverside Park.
Right. That's going to be a cool addition. I think that's something that our staff are going to erect and build, but it'll be a nice feature it'll be similar to what we have in the Leach Amphitheater. So I think it'll be a nice addition to that park.
Okay. One other really quick item, we've got a new neighborhood association.
We do, yeah. Bent Woods Neighborhood Association. I think that's brings us up to 20 in the city. which is pretty amazing. And I think the whole idea behind these neighborhood associations is to try to give people an opportunity to interact with each other and the neighborhoods.
Okay. Well, John, thanks for joining us today, and join us again in 2 weeks for another City Manager's Report.